Laurel Collins. Hi, my name is Tom Pogson. I'm Basic Income Victoria BC. As you can imagine, I'm doing this in response to that report that came out in the last week from UBC, and as you can imagine, most of the basic income advocates around the world aren't happy with it. And the reason I want to reach out to you is to create some level of balance. No member to my knowledge, of the Basic Income Earth Network was ever contacted. While these guys apparently did 2 years of talking amongst each other, Basic Income Earth Network has been working on this since 1986, which includes Professor of Economics who has his doctorate in economics, Professor Guy Standing, who I think he's now working with he's working in the University of South Africa. Professor Carl Wildercrest, also a doctorate in economics, and many other names. The idea has had support from people from Stephen Hawking to Anthony Robbins. So it's ridiculous to me that the idea could just be blown off by 3 people in a period of a couple years. So for some level of balance, I would my personal recommendation is to reach out to Basic Income Earth Network. They'd be happy to talk to you. They'd be happy to go. I'm sure they'd be happy to go through the 500-page report and come up with their own counter to that. You could talk to me more if you want to. Obviously, Scott Santons was straight on top of it, which he didn't have to do. Obviously, he's an American citizen, but he leapt straight in there. God bless him. But Evelyn Forget, who wrote a Basic Income for Canadians. Senator Hugh Segal, obviously Leah Gazan of Winnipeg Centre, Senator Kim Pate. There's so much support for this. 3 out of 5 Canadians want a basic income, and of course we can make it happen. It isn't a question of can we do it, as Professor Guy Standing has said, it's just a political will. Okay, thank you very much. Jagmeet Singh, hi, my name is Tom Pogson of Basic Income Victoria BC. How are you? I'm doing this video in response to that horrible report that came out in the last week about how basic income can't happen in BC, which is absolutely ludicrous. The Basic Income Earth Network, and we're never consulted in this 2-year report, which seems like it was 3 people talking amongst each other. There was no member of the basic income community that was contacted. Meanwhile, there are loads of people who can give you a counter to this. This is all I'm basically doing this video for, to provide some level of counterweight. They said that a basic income is not targeted enough. Meanwhile, Annie Lowry's book, Give People Money, talks about the project called Give Directly, that proved that projects are less effective than a basic income that goes directly to the source of what everybody needs, because people have different pie charts of what they need to pay for in their lives. And these villages in Kenya were a classic example of this. And so what I'm basically asking for is some level of balance. Get in contact with people like Carl Wildercrest or Professor Guy Standing of the Basic Income Earth Network, or any other member of the Basic Income Earth Network, and go through them and go over this 500-page report. I know they'd be happy to go through it with you and to point out where they've gone wrong, because I mean, as Professor Guy Standing said, I've personally as well heard no solution to how minimum wage is never going to catch up, as Robert Reich has said, to the rise of cost of living, the rise of production versus the stagnation of wages. So that's basically all we're asking, is just some level of balance. You can get in contact with me if you want to, but I personally recommend getting into touch with the Basic Income Earth Network. Okay, thank you very much. Premier John Horgan, hi, my name is Tom Pogson of Basic Income Victoria BC. How are you? I'm doing this video, as you can imagine, in response to the report that came out over the last week, which is, as you can imagine, the basic income community is not happy about. The one thing I'm trying to do with this video is to create some level of balance, because this report seems to have come from 3 people who didn't consult anyone in the basic income community, including, and most importantly, Basic Income Earth Network, that was founded in 1986 as a Basic Income European Network and became the Basic Income Earth Network in 2004. There are names in that network such as Professor Guy Standing, who has his doctorate in economics, and Professor Carl Wildequist, also a doctorate in economics and a doctorate in psychology, I believe. People like Alex Howlett, Scott Santons is connected to Basic Income Earth Network. He left on this thing immediately, God bless him, because he's an American citizen. But none of us were consulted with this, which seems a little bit unprofessional as far as I'm concerned. There was no attempt to actually find the other side of the story. They immediately leapt on the kinds of things that we argue all the time. Minimum wage can't catch up to how high the cost of living has become. Robert Reich has mentioned this, that in America you would need $24 an hour American to catch up. That would be $30 an hour Canadian, which is not going to happen. So my suggestion, my recommendation is to reach out to the members of Basic Income Earth Network. They'd be happy to go through this 500-page thing with you. If you want, you can talk to me as well. There's obviously Senator Kim Pate, Leah Gazan from NDP, Senator Hugh Segal. These people would be happy to go through this. Obviously, UBI Work set up, based in Toronto. Yeah, that's all we're asking for, is just a level of balance. This idea has been around for over, not for 200 years, but for over 500 years. I mean, there was a basic income that happened, a form of it that happened in ancient Athens.